It's very good to have you back after the after the newspaper review. Well, we were talking about very wonderful issues. There's been, of course, trending right now that we actually know that the school resumptions are about to take place. IJ, you know, it's time again.
They're about to leave the house and let there be peace in the house. That's what's up.
That's actually a swift and direct definition. It's time to leave the house, so they should.
So there will be peace once more in the house.
Really? So there's no even peace in the house all this while, right?
Honestly.
All right, we're going to be discussing something very important this morning: schools resumption, expectations, and of course preparations. Well, we know that school has resumed. What are the preparations so far and expectations? Well, we're not going to be doing that alone in the house this morning. We have a very important guest in the house this morning. I'm talking about Evangelist Maxine Mwasike. He's a parent. Good morning and welcome to the show. All right, good to have you. And our second guest this morning, Mrs. Ifoma Nemeka, a school counselor. Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
All right, we're talking about schools, resumption, preparations, and expectations. And IJ went straight to the point and said, it's time for peace to reign in the house again. What do you have to say about that?
Actually, what he said is not out of place.
Okay.
Immediately by 7:30 to 8, when the student leaves the house, automatically there is peace.
Okay.
The parents will now get themselves in order and place themselves in whatever they're supposed to do better. You're going to work or you're going to market or you're going to do everything where any place.
As a parent now, right?
Of course I am.
Good.
So I'm talking from experience.
Okay.
So it's not easy, especially during the time of school days. Immediately the student leaves the house. There are total serenity and one can plan for the day.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Ifoma. Let's come over to your schools, resumption, expectation, and preparation. How well would you say the schools are prepared to take back those children and kids?
Yeah. Usually, first term is always hectic for teachers and counselors. So the expectation is so high because it's like they've been away for 6 weeks. You have to reintegrate them back into the system. Most times they go on holiday, they forget everything they've learned the other term, and this is a new term, so it's a whole lot of work for us, for the teachers, and even the parents. They will tell you preparation has not been easy. It has not been easy.
Okay, but as a school counselor, would you say you are prepared now and ready to get these kids back?
Yes, as a school counselor, yes, I'm ready. It depends on the counselors in schools. I'm ready. I know what I'm expected to do. Because it's not easy getting in the new ones. We're having new ones now in just one. So you have to read.
And that's where the bulk of the job lies now.
Because they don't. Most of them will still think they're in primary school. Mm-hmm. And we're having XS1 students who went home since 3 months, and been playing around, and they are going to face a whole new curriculum. So it's a whole lot of work for the counselor.
A whole lot of work for the counselors. And are you ready for them?
Of course.
For the orientation? You are ready for the orientation,
yes.
Especially for the new intakes.
Yes.
All right, let me now come over to you, sir. I know that it's not just for them to go and then we'll have a peace in the house. I know there are a lot of things that comes with September. Yeah. Okay. One is the preparation of school fees. Oh. Okay, and a whole lot of things you change. You will change school bag. You will change a school uniform. A whole lot of them. So how ready do you think, as a parent, how ready do you think other parents are for this September?
The country is very, very hard now. There is no reasonable Nigerians that we're talking about school resumption that will tell you it's so easy. It's very, very difficult task for parents, especially at this period when the country, economic, whatever, is not in place, really, as we expected. So, but for me, as a parent, I think I have done my best. And I have almost 4 of my kids going into new classes, and I know what it means. There are things, school bags, like you said, textbooks, and school fees. Some schools don't even allow you to bring your kids into the school without paying the school fees earlier before now.
They've all sent their account numbers.
Yeah,
even 2 weeks to resumption.
It's digital
for you
now.
to pay in your school before they even receive it. They come in with their teller.
Of course.
At the gate. Is it supposed to be that way? Because I know when we are going to school, they give you a period of 2, 3, 4 weeks, even 1 month before they start asking for
That
it.
was then.
That was then. What's wrong with then and now?
I think recently, some parents don't get really prepared. They always think, okay, the school is resuming today. We'll send the children to school without thinking about their school fees. And before you know it, the first month gets by, the second month, and some of these school fees are not yet paid. You know, schools cannot, perform well without these, fees from the kids, in which they used to upgrade certain things in the school. So, if for now that is some schools are saying you must pay your school fees before bringing your kids to the school, I think they are doing out of experience, because probably some parents must have disappointed, and sometimes towards the end of the term, you find that a lot of parents have not paid their school fees. But it's not that they are taking it so rigid. They are just doing this to prepare the parents upwards that this is the tax they're supposed to do.
All right, then let me come to you now, Mrs. Ifoma. Well, as primary school and secondary school in the country, they're prepared to come back for a new session. What are some of the best ways you think or you feel that the country's education, can move forward? And of course, getting teachers also ready to resume.
Okay. Normally, we started a program called Train the Teachers. Okay. And when we started it, the government bought, the idea and decided to use it for all the public schools. In that way, you're getting the teachers, because you need to keep updating your skills. Okay. These children, because I think I can speak Igbo if I want.
Very well.
These children, the Chenankai. Okay. Yes. You see, you need to really understand them. They have so many emotions, things they are watching wired into their body. It is not the way you sit in class those days and pay attention to your teacher. It's not that way. We have a lot of children who are active, we call hyperactive, because of the stimulus, because of the reaction they get from they're watching television. They are doing this, they are playing music, there are so many things, distractions. Yes, so the teachers need to be trained to really understand that this child is not abnormal, but the creative power in this child is what is pouring it into action. But when we have teachers that are not, properly tutored to understand that this our generation now we are having, some people call them ICT, some call them, so many names because of what is wiring in their system. They are highly distracted. If you look around during the holiday, you force them to read their books. But it wasn't the case. Many of them ask, do you know we have a library here? They say, we don't even know they have a library. All they have is earphone, they are playing music, or they are watching music, or, there's a lot of distraction for them. So the teachers will not use the old method. If you use the old method, you fail. And that's why they are losing interest in education. Many are not reading.
All right, we'll come back to that. Just to let you know that this is quite interactive. The numbers are on your screen, and we need you to call us. Tell us, especially the parents. Of course, principals, well, wherever you are watching us now, school can tell us. Call us and tell us what you feel about school resumptions today, the preparations and expectations, whatever questions you have and whatever contributions you have to make. Well, we have a caller here. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and location. All right, we just lost that call. Keep the calls coming in.
Yes.
Why? For me, it's based with what you're talking about, teachers and bringing up a new idea or strategy to teach the students. Now, we also know about the harsh economy of the country, and most of the teachers are beginning to worry if their salaries, they take home will be able to cater for the present need. Of the situation in the country now, as regards to what you're talking about, giving the very best to the students and try to train them. What do you make of that?
Do you know the problem we have? The basic problem is that we lack passionate teachers.
Good.
Yes.
So why is that? Because
that's the only job available.
Teaching is the only job available.
Yes, for now you can get a job, a teaching job in any private school. You know, I just okay. I'm not good at that. Can
Oh,
so many things we need to talk about. Because most of these teachers are not qualified. If they could qualify, in way the interest. Anyway, two things that guides a man: ability and interest. Only in where interest, there's no way you can impact knowledge. Many of them have the knowledge, but they cannot impact. If you are no man's name, a situation, my son came back and said, "Mommy, we corrected our teacher saying, Onuku." The student had to go to the headmistress because the woman couldn't impact knowledge. And then I went to the teacher. I said, "Oborone Maria," but the problem, Bona, this is not your area.
You were not properly groomed for that.
Yes, so all the kind of teachers we have in the private school and in the public school too.
Right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please move away from your TV set. All right, let's make it easy for both parties. When you call us, as much as possible, move away from your TV set, or better still, turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a very clear discussion. We're discussing something very important that has to do with the parents, the community, the nation, the country, and of course, everybody is involved in this topic this morning. Now, you're talking about passionate teachers. Why is that? Because when you talk about that, now we're talking about the future of our children. Now let me come to you, Father. We're talking about the future of our children. Now, not having passionate teachers who are actually going to impact this knowledge to the student. Where is this taking our education system to?
Well, that is...
because, for example, you heard where she said a student corrected the teacher, and, the teacher went AWOL.
Okay, let me just cite an example. Just a few days, I summoned my kids. We are sitting down, kind of talking. I said, the place they went for a lesson is different from where they were schooling before. Okay. So now they came back and told me, "Daddy, we don't want to go back to our old school." I was surprised, because there are 4 of them. 2 we are going in the place the other 2 said they want to join. So I really wanted to find out what was the problem. He mentioned one mathematics, area that the teacher in the former school don't teach well. But now in this new place they went for a lesson, they understood that very particular mathematics pattern very, very well. So just like what he was saying, or what he has just said, some teachers do not have the zeal. But because there is nothing for them to do, so they were forced to go into that. And when you see such teachers, what do? It's only left for the counselors like he's here to help to, interest could be built. Probably if you add some, money, maybe if you are just earning about 15,000 naira per month, maybe he couldn't have paid more interest. He said, "Okay, let us do it. For at the end of the day, he'll get home with this."
All right.
But I think if money is
involved, I think we'll really talk more about that. There's some other kind of questions I'm really going to ask as regards to that. But let's go to the street now and get to hear some of the expectations right now. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I'm very happy to be starting school again because I'm missing my teachers, my friends, and my classmates. And I'm very prepared because my books have already write them down, I've bought them. I'm just waiting for the registration to start.
I so get the kids prepared. All here question came me. Ali ebida akwụkwọ iduji akwụkwọ mbọsị a ka ọ mara na akwụkwọ ebidogo n'oge egwuregwu agago. Like I'm a we are here. Na ịlarụcha ụlọ itete ebido akwụkwọ no more na-efi tattoo na ya bado business school
ma ha jere akwadoro nọ because amago na ihe anyị mara ya eje gotesiara ha akwụkwọ n'oge because ha zuru ike ha nọrọ ezuru ike well ọsụma so ọdọchazie na ha je na ha akwụkwọ ọ ya agbalị first because ama na mgbalị mgbe na-agụ nke nne ya gbakwuru mgbe ọ na-agụ nke ya.
I'm very happy to go back to school because if I go back to school, I will learn new things. And that even although I've stayed at home for a long time, I'm very happy.
Ebo maga no holidays, but na 1 month and I got off ma. Magiru na face them na di ego. akwụkwọ na ya ndị eji eje elaghachiri ụlọ akwụkwọ ebe niile na-ekwo ekwo mụ onwe gbara mbọ dịka dike make sure na m gotere ụmụ m niile akwụkwọ ya laghachi ibido akwụkwọ.
They have resumed today. In fact, they have gone to school already. So, we are ready because it is not something that has to do with time. So we prepared ourselves. My expectations are that I have 2 kids, and I expected them to come out with the first position in the various classes.
All right, good to have you back. We're back from the streets. We actually went to the streets to, get to listen to people's reactions about school resumptions, their preparation, and of course, what they expect in this new coming season. Now, before we actually went on that, you were talking about when you see such teachers, of course, who are not passionate. Money can help. But there's always a saying, if you know be Panadol, it cannot be Panadol. Now, even if you... All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Barrister Ayansi Joseph on the line.
You say your name is?
Barrister Ayansi Joseph.
Oh, it's Barrister
Ayansi Joseph.
All right, my brother, go ahead.
I'm reaching you from Oka here.
Go ahead, my brother, Barrister.
Yes, I called to really appreciate the guests in the house. Yes, they've actually made a very important point. Because we must have to understand that it's not all about going to school to teach students. You must be able to have the feel. It's all about having the feel and the ability to impact on the students or the pupils. Because some people now, they can wear A1. Maybe they graduated with first class, but when you look at it critically, you find out that person cannot actually impact on people. So not the very, very necessary. And the school management should also look at spiritually the type of people they employ as teachers. Because some of them will end up in shaping some of whom are into some these small groups. I don't want to call it cult groups, but some of them belong. So we must also look into it, and the parents should sometimes try to attend the PTA meetings, because that is an opportunity they have to discuss some of these things. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph. Okay, you actually heard what Joseph said, but he was going to say something. The question I actually asked, when you look at it, do you think money is going to be the solution to such teachers who are not passionate to probably, teach and impact knowledge into the students?
Yeah.
Because when you don't have it, you don't have it. Money wouldn't change it. Or what do you feel?
The issue is that not that they don't have it, but because of nonchalancy. After all, how much do I go home with at the end of the month? So they take it as, as the way it goes. But if the take home is a little bit, upgraded, and the person will know that this is business, and there is something that is expected of him or her, that at the end of the day, he'll be working to meet up with that grade of take home. But if it's just anything that comes, just like I know in some schools today, I've visited some schools, and I've been able to get to hear from the teachers how much they take home. I mean, honestly, it's so appalling, that...
You're talking about the private schools.
Yeah.
Because I know they pay
some
teachers
private
well
schools
here.
mostly, yes.
Okay, but apart from the take homes, I think that's something we are missing. She said passion. But I know there is this other thing that they call training. If you're not a trained teacher, even if you have first class in any discipline that you underwent, you cannot be a good teacher. Because there are rudiments of teaching.
Of course.
What do you say?
Of course.
Okay, so how
what you're saying is right, but what I'm talking about is no matter how trained you are, if your take home is not, commendable with what you're saying,
I know.
anyhow.
That one is a point, but this other one is another strong point, because that's why we're having problems now.
That's why
most people that are teaching now are not trained teachers, especially in public schools.
Hello.
I mean, in private schools.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, where's Emmanuel
My
calling?
name is Emmanuel. I am calling from Oka.
Okay, Emmanuel, welcome.
I am a student of Anambra College.
Are you ready to go back to school?
I'm not doing well.
Teachers.
And now that I can't tell you, talking to you as a one.
Hello?
Okay, he's gone.
All right. So you're actually saying something about, you know, there are students who find it very difficult to go back to school, even when their parents want them to go. They're either, okay, like today now, when you said you visited some school, and I'm really, I want to believe that there are lots of students crying, probably not wanting to go back to school, their parents bringing them to school by force and stuff. How do school, let me come to you as a counselor. How do you, take charge of such situation?
Within a week, it will be over.
Within a week,
because the attachment thing there, they have been with the parents for 6
so
weeks,
long, yeah.
so they will definitely detach.
Something like this.
They will definitely detach. It's just firmness. The parents had to be firm. The teacher had to be firm. That's all.
All right, let's take it. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Your name and location.
Good morning. AGK calling from Oka.
AGK from Oka. AGK, go ahead with your contributions.
I want to appreciate you guys for the topic of today. My contribution in China is still most of the teachers are in private schools are certified. Most of them probably have education. But another angle is that most private schools don't pay these guys nothing. They don't pay them anything. I tend to go along with the young gentleman. I want to ask you private school where in a private school you say graduate jail school for 10 years. So that you come out with 2 1. You now pay 10,000 naira. Can you go again? And you expect him to put things there. It's not possible. So even now today, every man has to go to private school. Kapamana, I don't want to say that go to the account. That is not all other in Nigeria. So if you can take 10,000, you can go. Another person will come. You shouldn't change teachers every time. No, let them tell you guys something. You should have let them tell them something to encourage them. Thank you.
Okay,
all right, thank you very much. Counselor, you actually heard that?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, when you change teachers,
the issue of changing teachers.
I had to remove my son from a school because of they changed the teacher 3 times.
Can you imagine?
It affects the child.
It does.
Everything about the child.
And children are attached to their teachers.
Yes.
So
It
when you change this
them.
one, it's getting attached to this one, and you change that, bring another one, you start afresh.
Before you know this, you'll be...
Okay, about this remuneration that I'm talking about, I know that most times during beginning of a session like this, I look at this one crying. He doesn't want to go to school. He doesn't even want to start. And then this one, he just starts.
And there's some other camp students in the school. And he doesn't want to listen to anything.
I think we all went through that. This one looks like a better. Sure, I didn't do this while you were like that. Okay, so we're talking about the way they increase school fees. What the hell are they doing with such money? If you pay 40,000 this term, that's likely that in September you're going to pay 55,000.
Yeah.
And yet they're not increasing the salaries of their teachers. How do you look at this one?
Well, I don't know if it's such.
You signed a very huge, really. You're going to talk about that, but let's hear from
Maybe counselor will do more than
okay, good.
Because I've not really experienced that.
Okay. It depends on the school. Most schools I know, the private schools are still maintaining their former school fees, except this first time where you need to pay a lot of. Where I am concerned is not even the school fees. Like I keep telling the school management, where I'm concerned is the textbooks.
Okay.
Why wouldn't the child use the textbook that the sister use? Okay, let's have this.
Let's take this go. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning.
Your name and location.
I didn't man. Go ahead. Could I forget maybe sample?
I'm not going to
Can I find now?
Donatus.
All right, Donatus.
From Awada Obosi.
All right, go ahead. Gani Rina.
Private schools. And they got money to and I can go that and I will long position and I can go. I get I'm going to trust from and I have my team I'm gonna contribute to my own.
Oh, the man, Dalo Donatus.
If we had a clear that I know had that. I just hear go up because what I can say, and yes, really. It is to do that for the first time. That's great, Malaysia. Well, good morning.
Okay, good morning.
Right. Good morning.
Thank you, Donatus. Thank you. Yeah, good morning.
Your name and location.
I'm Charles. I'm calling from Oka.
Right, Charles from Oka. Charles, go ahead.
Yeah, the topic of this morning is so good. I so much appreciate it.
Thank you.
But you see this private school, I think the issue of school management, some of them do not even know school management. Maybe they are already start, they just do everything they want. The issue of telling students that you must obtain a defined book in the school is a work. And you put the price above the market price. Are you helping the students? You're not helping the students at all. I remember my time, they rest the book to buy, you go to the market and buy it. Whenever you buy it, you have your problem. They never tell you to come to school and buy the same book 2 times more than the price in the market. This is very, very bad. They're not helping people at all in this state and in the country as well.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to know that that's I'm talking.
More about the last baby in the house. I use my eldest sister use. Onya used Onya go church, Onya days you go church just like that, day by day in those days. Onya go church. Can you what does it fact?
The problem
when using at this session, can you use the next session?
Yes.
You put a big one.
Yeah, I give good reason. They nachikota.
Sure.
Here was education. They whipped out one. We have what as enough. They would talk so much the way he made the test.
Yes, that's another problem. They write inside. And after writing, nobody should make use of it.
As a counselor, I tell school management, too much. Reduce it for this child. My son nearly developed a hunchback. No one apart.
For your son, it's like without you. Don't carry it on your back, it's too much.
At least for a primary 3 or 4, they'll be having up to 18 to 20 subjects.
In a spend almost 15,000 in a Goria.
Only textbook, excluding
this guy that called from Oka mentioned. If it was an image and I was in a school, and not like I had to go to school, now they be a double.
Yes,
double
the price they finally.
Yeah, it says okay.
What the hell is going on?
I need a regulation. Yes.
Yeah. I get regulate when the mission because all is going to kanjo.
The
mission school the going to kanjo.
That is what this man said.
Regulation.
Yeah, I suppose from the education hierarchy.
Hello. All right, let's take this guy. Hello, to Soma. Can I find there? Here we see.
Yes, man. All
right, if I'm a Ganiru.
Okay.
Young way, if we especially this private school, some teachers can't hear by my hand. I don't know, thank God for her. Homework. Yeah, homework on that could be what I did in class work. The way young one can work at the way. Parents have had any assignments. I mean, all my got an assignment. So, but you could what I did, he gave me assignments. See, what I can, but I use that day. I gave you parents. Parents had the other assignment. And another one, I did make sure I could go name it. Come on, get this call what I care about. Come on, I care about Maracona, Ganu, Conaganazo. I meant this call. For the parents, they are not putting price. Came come have access. Here is our meaning. Yeah, what the school of one, so government is the government has a private. Before the private school now, they don't want the school. I think that school now because that private school, other than Bangwa. The private school, how more from a private what are we having? Yana, of course, no. The government is at the hand more. Maybe him and women. Oh, but now they let the government school now, to get some of them may use it. But I'm on a government school. Maybe I don't tell you because no qualified teachers.
That's why you have qualified teachers.
On O level, can you win a government school?
Councillor, you heard what you said. Okay, so you want to throw more light on it?
One thing about the school system, I work when they do qualifying on a private school.
Yeah.
The problem is we carry,
yes,
that's in a private school. They are also okay. Yeah, we cover most times is the management.
Hello. All right, let's take this guy. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Ibuka from Oka.
Ibuka from Oka. All right, Ibuka, go ahead.
My suggestion is for the councillors. I think councillors can help in this situation. Because I remember during our own time, sometimes the councillors do walk around the parties on secondary school. Then have some interaction with the students. Ask them if they are out. Then they will know how they respond to the teachers. I think the councillors will help sometimes.
All right, thank you so much, Ibuka. Lots of calls are coming in. Hello, good morning.
This one outside everybody. Hello. Nobody, don't wait. Okay, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. You're connected. Your name and location.
Okay. I'm from Mpo. My name is Ifan.
Ifan from Mpo. Ifan, go ahead with your contributions.
We are not talking about private school or government school. But I need to take over this issue. Those schools, and we are and then after a term, after one term, they change their teachers, they change their books, they change all these things. Is it fair? Is it helping our parents or the children? Because how can you come and most of parents who come from a school, those schools in the but that's the really guys now don't think that they will be those schools. Any teaching side on all these teachers, both teachers, those teachers, the private schools are on the teachers and after my friends have no self there. That is a set up of everything. I think that school is not making sure that school.
All right,
thank you.
All right, thank you.
A lot of issues are coming up.
Yeah.
The first one, that the woman that called from Owelaja Obosi, said, most of these parents send the loan for to school. I go
Yes.
If there's a assignment from page 2
to
10.
No, from chapter 2 to chapter 12.
Yes.
Assignment. How many
to
chapters came as in a school? And the parents will be an apute. I'm a fear and the labor. If not that place. And you sent the children. Extra school.
With so many issues in the school system that they need to are correct here. Because we are losing these kids. In Nigeria, they don't have interest in education anymore. You are flooding them with too many things. They have with interest in that fashion, egu, where you see cultism, many things.
That brings me to, I know during the holiday, after so much time in school, I still know during the holidays that parents still, forces their children for another lessons and stuff. How is that? Is that really encouraging? Because I know I've met a parent who say, see, when it's holiday time for my kids. Yeah. I'll take them out for shopping, take them out to have fun and stuff. No time for lessons.
Land house chores.
What's your take on that? Because I want to believe your kids actually went for extramural lessons.
Of course. Okay, actually, just like we said earlier, if they are, they get engaged with too many of activities like playing and watching films and all that, their brains begin to retard. That they need to be at least, keeping abreast of what they ought to see by next term, especially in the period of long vacation. Right. It's about 6 weeks.
No,
so for me,
the system is take a break from educational activities.
Yes,
go and rest your brain and come back.
But when they come back, there is always, breach between what you ought them to do or to know.
But I think this normal saying of all work and no play.
Yeah, what I'm saying, my opinion, if we have about 6 weeks for holidays, at least take the kids for 2-3 weeks, and the other ones are meant for them for holidays.
That's what I advocate. And we've written a proposal to the Commission of Education. We asked that this particular 6 weeks, who must do a particular skill. Beautiful. I keep saying something. If you go to Ghana, You don't graduate without learning a skill. You learn it, Otwa. So, I didn't get a certificate. SSCE. I didn't get a certificate. That's why they are very skillful.
In library here, they taught children all the skills, acquisition, something during the holidays. Okay, something different from academic.
From that thing, it will still stimulate the brain, but it is not the normal. You flood her with civic holiday, flood her with civic education. You do something practical. Call for how to you even use the civic in the practical aspect.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and location.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel.
All right.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, Emmanuel. Where are you calling us from, Emmanuel?
Emmanuel, talk.
I'm calling from Oka.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead with your contributions.
I'm calling from Oka.
Go ahead with your contributions. We can hear you.
Yes, I'm calling from Oka. Please, actually, yes, that's on sexual abuse and most of the female students in most of these private schools.
All right, thank you very much.
I have been privileged to be a PTA chairman in one of the private schools.
Okay.
Is it calling for
Manuel, are you still there?
I knew what happened there. Because of that, I have to withdraw my team.
You're listening to yourself now, your radio.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Be fast
about it. I have to withdraw my key from the school.
Because of what? What did he say?
All right, let's quickly react to what Emmanuel said. Councillor, let's direct that to you. Yes, at least being a councillor of a school, have you actually had any experience of sort? And if there is, how have you been able to?
You know what I would say. Okay. I'll just say that parents should pay more attention. I'm a psychologist and I work with schools, and a lot of cases I've handled abuse. No, but I don't name in a school. Case in no. Yes. Our parents are not paying. Topic for another day. They're not paying attention. Okay. So, only what I can do is sexually abuse. Be in a school or children any game. When we teach the abuse as a child, like the case we handled, is a homosexual or church student now, but they made 2 students that thing, not abuse 2 students at the same time because they want to go abuse. Nice. It's like a vicious circle. Now, parents, we should pay attention. Again, because a particular child did something, I said, he touched my bum, but I said, come here. What happened? What kind of film do you watch? I said, I watch my mommy and daddy's film. Oh, God. Where? A big kiss with you from their table. Or you go into their room, you take their films and you start watching. That child now, all the good stimulated, or be in a school, he wants to do something to another child. So a whole lot of issues in the school system.
All right, you know, if we just keep talking about things, we may not live here today. Well, time is really not our friend. This is the much we have on the topic today: school resumption, preparation, and expectations. Well, we also want to believe that your kids are set and well to go back to school, and of course, have a successful year as the school resumes. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Evangelist Maxine Wasike.
Thank you.
Our parents that came to join us today. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Mrs. Ifoma Mecca, school counselor. Many thanks for joining us. And we actually hope that when we call on you again, you'll be here to...
sure. No problem.
All right, IJ.
Yeah, we'll have to go. And we'll also like to tell the school management to be careful about the sanitation of their schools. So many female children are coming back with infections during the holidays, please. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.